I realize that this is not the beginning of it. True to form, God has been rising up early, giving us this message a few years ago. Refresh your memory, turn to Ezekiel. Chapter 33. See if you remember this passage. When you go home, you can check your notes and see when God first spoke to us in this passage. Verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word cometh forth from the Lord. They'll say to one another, Come and hear God has to say me. Let's just go hear a message. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song, a one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. What was going to come to pass? In verse number 27, he says, Say thou thus unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, As I live, surely they that are in the waste shall fall by the sword, and him that is in the open field will I give to the beasts to be devoured, and they that be in the forts and caves shall die of the pestilence. For I will lay the land most desolate, and the pomp of her strength shall cease, and the mountains of Israel shall be desolate, that none shall pass through. Then shall they know that I am the Lord, when I have laid the land most desolate because of all their abominations which they have committed. Hear that message?
Yes.
Then turn to a book in front of that, Jeremiah. Chapter 20. It began with, O Lord, Thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Verse 10, another verse. Verse 7 still. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. For since I spake, I cried out, I cried violence and spoil, because the word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing. I could not stay. For I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side. Report, say they, and we were reporters. All my familiars watched for my halting, saying, peradventure he will be enticed. We shall prevail against him. We shall take our revenge on him. But the Lord is with me as a mighty, terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten. But, O Lord of hosts, that triest the reins, and seest the reins and the heart, let me see thy vengeance on them. For unto thee have I opened my cause. Sing to the Lord, praise ye the Lord. For he hath delivered the soul of the poor from the hand of evildoers. Into the text in Hebrews. Chapter 10. Verse 30. For we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Verse 30 is taken from a passage in Deuteronomy. So turn back to Deuteronomy. The subject for this message, I'm not really sure. Probably shouldn't take one. To the unrepentant. Deuteronomy, as you should know, is a summary of the history of Israel from the time they left Egypt until the death of Moses and the appointment of Joshua to take them into the land of Canaan. Let's start reading verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, the days approach, that thou must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. Deuteronomy 31, 16. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be amongst them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, Are not these evils come upon us because our God is not amongst us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, and that they are turned unto other gods. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear to their fathers, that flows with milk and honey, they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods and serve them and provoke me and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befalling them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now before I have brought them to the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong, and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with them. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, you have been rebellious against the Lord, and how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do evil in the sight of the Lord, and provoke him to anger through the works of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended. The part of this song we read, if you notice your Bible, this song is a long song. It has many verses. And God told him to write it and teach it to the children of Israel. The portion from Hebrews is in verse 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. It's God talking. Keep your finger there. Let's see how Hebrews reads. For we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me. It's a little known fact for some people, and some just don't want to know. That God does get even. It's a part of his ways. Then he makes a personal claim on vengeance. Belongeth to me. Why would God do that? Because only God is just enough and righteous enough and holy enough to exact an even, fair vengeance. Nobody else can do it. Why can he do it? It says, we read earlier, I try the reins. He said, I know the heart. That's not the part that pumps the blood, but the real inside of a person where their motives and the seat of other desires are located. God said, I know that. I've mentioned a few times in the past how that when a judge will sentence someone for a crime, he cannot give the same sentence to everybody across the board. It wouldn't be fair. There are some individuals where their life that they've had to live is going to take them no place but prison. No option. The way they came up. Their parenting, so on and so forth, or lack of it. Then there are other situations where the person's background should not have presented them before a judge. One has a little more leeway. So the judge can't assign both of them for the same crime at the exact same time. There's what they call extenuating circumstances. That's why we judge. God gave rules to the judges in the Bible. He told them not to judge after the outward appearance, but to judge in righteousness and in integrity. But at best, the work of a judge is a tough job. Because that judge, to be a fair judge, almost has to put himself in the seat of the criminal in order to make a fair judgment. And if he's a spiritual judge and knows God, he has to realize that he's a sinner and deserves judgment while he's meting out judgment. So only a judge, when Abraham reminded God when God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, He says, shall not the judge of the entire earth do right? He says, wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? Good question Abraham asked. Abraham said, if I find 50 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah, will the righteous judge of the earth destroy the whole city? And there's 50 righteous there? Which, when you consider the population of Sodom and Gomorrah, there were major cities of that time. Archaeologists have estimated that their population exceeded 500,000 people. And to ask for 50 out of 500,000 was something like, of the population. We know the story. God said he wouldn't. Abraham kept on contending with God. He went down from 50 to 45 to 40 to 30 to 20. He said, if we find 10 righteous folks, we destroy the city. God said, no. That's the righteous judge.
Yeah.
That's I would call him a very liberal judge. To spare those twin cities for 10 people. He outdid Abraham. There were only actually 4 were saved. God still destroyed the cities, but he took the 4 out first. The angels come down and rescue them of the city. So from God's standpoint, he's the only one qualified to execute vengeance. Sometimes people talk about, what's that expression about vengeance? You all know it. Vengeance you'll have used before somebody has. You may save all your life. Well, I'll take the more modern. That one. Same thing as vengeance, right? I'm gonna get even, right? And we're not qualified to get even because we can't judge the motives of that person's heart and all the circumstances that went into them doing what they did to you. It's easy to see somebody else is wrong. It's hard to give them credit for what's right. This is how we are as human beings. Period. So God says, to me belongeth vengeance and recompense. It's God's exclusive territory. Well, what's going to be your vengeance, God? Their foot shall slide in due time. He's talking to the unrepentant in this message. He says their foot shall slide in due time. What you see in Hebrews. Let's go back to Hebrews again. For we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me. He makes a definite statement here. I will recompense, said the Lord. An old preacher preaching from Indianapolis one time, and he said, you may get by, but you don't get away. God is so long-suffering that you think that God is just not aware. Or he's forgotten. Or that he didn't know it took place. He's very much aware. This is the God who says the very hairs in your head are numbered. That's pretty deep. He knew how many of your strands came out today when you're combing it. Updated the number. He said that the stars a mind-boggling statement. He said, I have numbered the stars. And you consider the fact that in the galaxy the Earth resides in, the Milky Way galaxy, they estimate, make one guess, they estimate about 140 trillion stars in our galaxy. And they estimate that there are over 140 trillion galaxies, all with countless stars. And God does the ultimate and says, I've counted them. Because I made them. I spaced them out so everything works right. And then the ultimate mind-blowing statement, he said, I call them all by name. He knows them all. But if he knows and has counted and named trillions of stars, how much do you know about 7 billion people?
Right.
I say he's qualified to judge, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Their foot shall slide in due time. You can't really appreciate that statement unless you walked in the snow or on ice. A slide can ruin your whole day. Back east, in Ohio, there's ice, and then at nighttime when you're out walking, there's an ice you don't see. It's called black ice. Looks like pavement. You know, step on the black ice, you know, you've done an involuntary split. And it hurts. Real bad. I gotta tell a story now. Lighten things up for a second before I move on to the rest of the message. About the wino. Did I tell you a story? About the wino who was out in the wintertime?